Well, good morning. Good morning, Wintergreen. My name is Mike, in case you don't know or forgot Mike Richter. I'm David Richter's father. And David was going to join me this morning in our class, but he's still sleeping, and I'm just going to let him be. So hopefully you are up and awake and a little bit ready, and we'll start slow so we'll become more ready. So this morning's class, I just want to focus a lot on mobility, which to me means just really a lot with the joints, getting the joints more opened up, and basically just doing movement, not through a lot of static stretching, but moving through the joint, having gentle motions, repetitive motions that feel good to really help you get more oiled up, we could say, more ready to move. So I'm going to start down on the ground where I am right now, which that in itself sometimes can be a little bit of a challenge in the morning, just depending on your situation and how your body's feeling. So take your time. If you're standing, come down on the ground. Hopefully you have a mat or some space around you that's comfortable. And we'll just take our time. And I'm going to start let's start laying down. I'm going to start laying down. This is normally how I start my morning. I start right down on the ground, and I'm going to rotate it. And that can be tricky, right? Some of us have to get down a little more gingerly, let's say. So once you come down, let's take a moment and just wiggle the hips a little bit. So I'm just kind of wiggling my low back and release. I'm going to let my arms come out to the side of my body. And let's start with a little bit with the neck. So I'm just going to do a little left to right, side to side with the neck. And I'm taking my time. I'm looking straight up as I move. And then start to track your eyes a little bit. So as you start to go to the one side, you use your eyes to lead you, I guess you'd say. And then as you get right down closer to the end of your range of motion, let your eyes go a little further. That can help you gently extend that, but just a little back and forth. This should feel good. Shoulders relax. So try to draw the shoulders down a little bit away from the neck. All right, let's come back to the center now. And just take a few moments and let's just breathe. I'm going to bring my hands right into my belly. And I'm just going to start to breathe in and out through the nose if it's clear. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. And just feeling that belly rise a bit as you breathe in and feeling it fall as you exhale. Let's slowly start to move now, right? I'm going to begin just by rolling through the wrists. So I'm just circling the wrists around in one direction, nice soft circles. And then I'm going to switch in the other way. And then I'm going to come down the ankles, so you can't see them because I'm too close, but just start to twirl the ankles around a bit here while on the ground. Your heel's going to bump against the ground, which you can with that. And now let's start to lift those arms up. So I'm going to reach them up towards the ceiling, right up there, nice and tall. And do a few, like you lift one arm up higher and then the other higher. So you're kind of getting the shoulder blades. One shoulder blade lifts off the ground as you reach up, and then you come down the other. When you do these movements like this, you can think of it as like flossing. You're flossing, kind of going back and forth, raising up. And now let's come to the center, and now let's let the arms slowly fall behind us. And as they come down, You'll do a natural little back bend, right? When you do that, when the arms are over your head, your back lifts up a little bit. Let's just inhale and stretch a little. And then as you exhale, I'm going to bring my arms back over my head and pull in my right leg. So I'm going to hug that leg in, and I'm just going to work a little bit to the right hip. So I'm circling that hip around. It's like you're drawing a circle with your knee. I guess you'd think of it that way. You're drawing it up in the ceiling. It goes a little bit over to the side. Now let's find a gentle twist, all right? Start gentle. So I'm going to bring my left hand on the knee, and I'm going to draw across my body. And as I do that, I kind of turn with it. What I'm going to do is get a little longer, like a little adjustment in your spine, and then try to let your right shoulder blade come back towards the ground. You may not be able to make it. And then if you can, if it's comfortable, look over your right side. I'm going to release, and I'm going to let that leg come back. I'm going to let it fall open now. So that's for the right, inside the right hip there. My leg's just kind of dangling in the air, and I'm going to twirl the right ankle around a bit, the foot. When you do that, you can feel that come right up into your knee. All right, now I'm going to come back to the center. I'm going to hug in that leg, just compress a bit into the knee joint. And then I'm going to release that side, and let's switch sides. So we inhale first, stretch out, reach back. And then as you exhale, draw in the belly, hug in that leg. And then let's begin with a few circles to the hip. And then we find a gentle twist. The right hand's on the knee. You draw across the body. And make those little adjustments and see if you can get your left shoulder blade down. And maybe look over your left side. I want to feel that coming up to the ribs, the upper back, all right? I want to feel that in my low back. And I'm going to release, and I'll let that leg fall open, that left hip, and bring it over the ground, and I'm going to twirl a bit to my left ankle. Maybe you can hear that. You pop sometimes. All right, I'm going to come back, and I'm going to hug in that leg, pressing the left knee heel. And then let's hug both legs in, all right? So I'm going to hug them in. Then I'm going to lift up my head a bit. And just lifting the head, our heads weigh a bit. So it takes a little bit of effort. It takes a little bit of core to do that. I'm going to bring the head back down, all right? I'm going to bring one leg down and hug one leg up. And what I want to do is try to really bring this knee as best I can in towards the body. Really going to work in the hips, and I'm going to work in this, open this hamstring up a bit. So your standing leg, your left leg that's on the ground, it may stay at a little bit of an angle like I have mine. I've got my knee bent, or maybe you can let it release all the way down to the ground. Kind of see how that feels. And then what I want to do is straighten that leg out. You can feel that come up in the hamstring, and then bring it back. And I'm trying to, as I straighten my leg, it has to go towards the sky. Some of you may be even in a diagonal. What I'm trying to do is each time I do that, I'm drawing a little bit, all right, on that back of that leg. So I'm trying to get a little bit of a opening, and then a tiny bit, a little bit of stretch as I bring it back, but I'm not overdoing it. And I'm just going to do that about 10 times. Back and forth. It's nice for the knee here too. So we're getting that knee joint to get a little more ready to do these compressions and decompressions. Do what it does, but doing it without weight right here. So it's a nice way to warm it up. All right, I'm going to do it one more time. Now I'm going to switch sides. I'm hugging the left leg. That right leg, that foot comes to the ground, and maybe it releases all the way. Hug it in a moment or two. Come into your hip. Just give it a moment to kind of settle. And then see if you can straighten that leg, do what you can with that. And then come back. And then we're going to do that a few times. So think you feel that in the hamstring, but also think your knee joint. Really try to bring some of your attention there, your focus to the knee as it opens up and then it closes. I'll do about 4 more times. Feel that bit in my calf too when I straighten it out. Okay, now from here, yogis, let's hug both legs in again and just do a little side to side, a little rolling. Like we started with the neck, but now the whole body moves. So the head does that little side to side, but now the body moves with it. And then we'll come back to the middle. And now I'm going to come a little bit into the hips and the core. We'll start to warm up the core a bit. I'm going to lift up the head again, and I'm going to bring my hands behind it so I can cradle the head. And I'm going to start with my knees together, and I'm going to draw a little sign of infinity. The infinity sign, I'm going to try to draw that with my knees. So I'm tracing it. It's a figure eight, right? A sideways figure eight. So one knee kind of goes down, and the other one goes up and around and come back. And I'm just trying to get a nice smooth movement there through the hips. So for me, I'm going to start with the circles pretty small. And then as I start to feel it, I may get them a little wider. And I'm keeping my belly a little bit tight just to heat the head up. I need to keep my belly in. And I'm going to reverse my circle. My back and my mid back, my low back flush to the ground. There's no space there at all, right? All right, let's come back. Let's release the head, all right? Hug it in. Now let's warm up the core a bit. So I'm going to come into my Pilates position. I'm going to bring my knees to a 90-degree angle. I've got my belly in tight. I'm engaging it so my back stays nice and flush to the ground. My arms are right along the side of the body. I'm going to do a few toe taps from here. So I'm going to bring one leg down and tap the toe, and then the other one down. And I don't want my back to start to arch up off the back. So if it's really tough, it can help to lift the head a little bit to come into that kind of little crunch. That helps keep the back down, or you can keep your head down. And you just have to be a little more focused. Take your time. You want a nice little tap, and one at a time. And I'm trying not to change the angle too much of my knee. I'm trying to hold it at a 90-degree angle each time. Keep pulling in that belly. And breathe. Okay, so don't forget, I don't want to scrunch up my face and hold my breath. I want to keep my face relaxed as best I can. And I'm just going to tap this for 4 more times. And I'm going to start 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. All right, hug it in again. Take a moment there, do a little side to side. Now we come a bit into the spine, the back, and the glutes a bit. I'm going to come into a bridge position. So my feet come down to the mat about hips distance apart. I'm reaching back. I can touch my heels maybe, or you're close. And I'm going to grab the edges of my mat so I don't slide at all as I do this little bridge. What I'm going to do is my London bridges. So London bridges, right? They fall down. They raise up and they fall down. So I'm going to slowly raise my bridge. Try this a little pelvic tilt at the beginning, and then you start to raise your bridge, and you're trying to go slow and kind of bringing one section of your spine up off the mat, and then you come right up in the shoulder girdle. So I don't want to feel that from my neck. I want to feel right in the shoulders, looking straight up. And then I'm going to slowly lower my bridge, and I'm going to try to do one section at a time. At the bottom, you can do a little, see if you can do a little pelvic tilt, and then go back up. So we're just doing a few of these, and we're working at whatever pace feels good, and we're getting a little wave through the spine as we do that, just to start to loosen it up a bit, I guess you'd say, or open it up is a good word. So just taking your time, lifting up, squeezing the glutes a bit there at the top, and then coming back down. And one more time, we're going to come up, right up, and then we're going to come back down. And then take a moment and hug it in. After those back bends, do a little counter here.
Try to pull your belly in and bring your forehead right up into your knees. And from here, I'm going to come up to seated. Now, if it's okay, you can rock and roll it. That feels okay. Or however you need to. That little rock and roll, if you got a soft mat, that can feel good on the back. So I'm going to come up. And from here, let's come around to our seated position for a few breaths here. I'm going to bring those legs out. So that's known as the Dandasana. We'll see these hamstrings already. So we'll go sideways first. So I'm trying not to be curved over. I'm trying to get a nice 90-degree angle there in my body. So that takes some work. I need to, my quads have been engaged. If this is just really tough for you, you can just bring your hands back a little bit. But if you can even flex the feet a bit and try to relax those shoulders, open them up a bit, neck relaxed. Beautiful breathing here. And let's work a little bit in these shoulders and this thoracic area of our spine, the heart center. So I'm going to bring my hands back just a bit. And I've got my hands a little bit open. What I'm going to do is lengthen and then draw the shoulder blades back a little bit to open the heart up. Not overdoing it though. And I'm rooting down with my sit bones as I'm not really pressing much into the mat, but I'm lifting the heart up. And when I breathe, I try to breathe, starting my belly, but let that breath fill up and expand. Up into the chest, up into the ribs, expanding them out, exhaling, relaxing wide. Breathing in. And we breathe out. We breathe in. We breathe out. And one more time, we're going to breathe in. And we breathe out. Nice. All right, take a moment here. Let's come into the hips now a bit. So I'll come in a little bit of an angle. I'm going to start my left leg. So I've got my left leg hugged up close to my body. I'm leaning back just a little bit. And I'm just going to open this hip up to the side. And then I'm going to close it a bit. So it's a big opening, external rotation. And the internal rotation, you get a little bit. So you're limited with that because you got to do more of this. So just a few, it's really more opening. And one more time on this side. All right, I'm going to switch sides. Take a moment. If your wrists, you're leaning back there, you need a little time to feel good again, do that. And then your right side, when you're ready, you let it open up. And whenever you're doing these movements through your joints, you really want to focus your mind, your attention, if you will, on that part of the body that's moving and taking your time with it. It just helps you move a little more mindfully, right? And it helps your body, it helps your nervous system create a better pathway, you could say, from the mind to that area of the body that's moving. So it helps your coordination. Let's come back from that. Now I'm going to bring the external, internal together. So I'm going to bring both legs up. I'm a little bit, let me go back a little bit. I'm in a little bit of a butterfly. But the butterfly is when we bring the feet together and really come into the hips. I'm a little bit opened up. I'm going to do a few hip switches. So if you're new, you just watch it once or twice and you try. What I'm going to do is take my right side, I'm going to rotate it internally across, and I want to get my knee right down by my heel. I want to settle that ankle down if I can too. And then I'm going to switch it. So I start to open it up, and then this hip comes across. And when I've done this a lot, so I've got my position pretty good. So I don't move my feet. I just pivot on the heels. So if you're just new to this movement, you may have to make some adjustments with your feet. But once again, think of we're flossing through the hips. So we're having a nice back and forth movement. And if you notice, I'm leaning back. You can see that you'll feel that. It's just a lot easier to lean back. You kind of shift the weight back, and then you can start to lean forward. To get deeper into the hips, you start to bring more and more of your weight. You shift it forward more and more. But this is a pattern that should feel nice in the hips as you kind of go back and forth. You're trying to keep those ankles down there nicely. Let's just do one more on each side. And really what we're starting to come into is a little bit of a modified pigeon stretch. Maybe we'll come back to that one. All right, let's come back to the middle. Let's come back to our Dandasana for a moment. Legs right out, long and hearts open. And now from here, can we just do a little bit for the shoulders and start to roll the shoulders around. And roll them the other way. Now from this position, it's going to be challenging to hold this. We'll see. I'm going to be up. I'm going to bring my hands up and I'm going to try to inhale. And depending on how tight those shoulders are, some of us, we can't bring the arms all the way back. They're out a little bit. See if you can bring them up and out. Ooh, and then slowly let them come down. And as they come down, it's almost like you're trying to bring them back a bit if you can. All right, I'm going to bring it back to the center. I'm going to do a few of those. I'm going to bring up. I'm going to try to open. I'm opening the palms up and I'm trying to open the shoulders up a bit. Whoa, then as I exhale, let them fall back down. And let's this time, from here, let's inhale back up, breathe in. Really reaching up, and then as I exhale, I'm gonna let them come down. Let's try that again. I'm gonna breathe in, straight up. I squeeze my quads just a bit. And as I exhale, I'm gonna let them come down along the side. That should feel good in the shoulders. I'm gonna breathe in, raise them back up. Filling up to the chest, and as I exhale, I come down. Can we do that a few more times? We breathe in. A lot of work happening, exhaling down in your core, your stabilizer, to keep you up like this. Breathe in. And as we exhale, they can come down. A couple more times. I'm going to add a little more. I'm going to breathe in. And as I exhale, I come down. Then I'm going to inhale, come up. And this time as I exhale, I'm going to let them come forward. Down, right? And I'm trying to breathe in. And as I exhale, they come down. Like sometimes you get a little popping in those shoulders. I'm going to inhale, come up. And as I exhale, I extend them out. I'm drawing the shoulder blades out a little bit. One more time. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale them up. And this last time, let's bring them straight down to the heart. And let's bring those legs in and give them a moment. See if you can cross-legged it's comfortable. If cross-legged is not comfortable, maybe one leg is out or it's a soft, more open position. Take a moment and just let the shoulders feel like maybe your shoulders are feeling a little bit warmed up, let's say. Maybe even a little tingling. So give them a moment just to kind of release and breathe. And now from here, let's come to our tabletop. So I'm gonna come into all fours. And I've got a double mat, so it's nice and soft for me because my knees, they don't like things to be too hard on them. So if you got like knees that don't like it too hard, you can always double your mat up or put something under there. So for the tabletop, I've got my knees right under my hips, my hands right under my shoulders, fingers a little bit spread out, and I'm just gonna do a little circling around. And I'm starting to kind of feel that, how that feels in my knees and my wrists. So as I come back, I feel that a little bit in the knees, I come forward, feel that bit in my wrists. And as I shift the weight forward, I press the fingertips a little bit in the ground. And then I'm gonna go the other way. All All right, now I'm gonna come back into the center space here. I'm gonna curl my toes under, and I'm gonna kind of press back in my heels. So I'm working, it's a soft stretch, let's say. Some people can sit right back on, you can try that. You can sit, that's very intense for me. So I'm not sitting in the heels, but I'm just pressing them back and working a little bit into those feet there. That should feel good, right, on your feet. And now from here, let's see if we can make it to a down dog. So to come to your down dog, you just lift up your knees, lift up your hips, and maybe you walk it out a little bit. So to walk out your dog, you're just bending one knee and then the other. You're still back and forth. And take your time. I'm trying to feel that coming into my calves a bit, my hamstrings. So the leg that straightens out, I kind of work it around a bit. Come into the back of the ankles. And now to come up, just bend your knees and start to walk your hands back a little bit. Right, you're walking your hands back little by little. And when you get back there, you take a moment or two and you just hang out in the soft fold. So soft fold means the knees a little bit bent, heads hanging. If you can, you clasp your elbows and sway a little back and forth. And then let's slowly start to rise up. And as we come up, I'm going to shift the angle a little bit so I'm not missing. As you come up, you inhale and reach and stretch up. And I'm going to get a little bit of a change to the camera angle. So there we go. We're going to breathe in. And as you exhale, about a gentle side stretch. So I'm going to lean to my left to stretch to the right side. And I'm going to do that for the other side. I'm going to inhale, lengthen the middle. And as you exhale, you can bring one arm down if you like. Just a gentle stretch. Let's try that again. Breathe in the middle, length. And as you exhale, also go one side. And then finish it. Breathe in the middle. And as we exhale, stretch. Left side. Let's come back down. Take a moment here. We're standing, let's shake it out a little bit, kick it out a little bit. So we've done a lot of warm up in the shoulder area so far. Wrists a little bit there. Let's work a little bit to the elbows and the wrists. So now I'm doing bigger circles. I'm working a little bit in the wrists and through the elbows. So letting those elbows flare out. The shoulders get a little work there as well. As you move it and then go the other way around. All right, now let's come back and just let the arms shake out a little bit, dangle them around, knock them around. Now let's come a little bit into our neck, and then we'll work down to this lower body. So starting with the feet about shoulder width apart. I want a nice stable place. Head nice and level, right? The chin nice and level. And I'm going to start with just doing the left and the right. So I'm looking to the left, I'm looking to the right. Keep my chin pretty level, and I'm letting my eyes lead me. So with the eyes, as you kind of get to the edge of your range, right? You use your eyes to extend that a little bit. Gentle to the neck. Little by little, day by day, you build up the muscles in your neck and you get them to become a little more supple, let's say. But it takes a lot of time. And don't overdo it. All right, let's come back to the center. Now, before we do the up and down, let's do a little forward and coming back. So I'm extending it out, the head, and bringing it back in. Extending it out. When you come back in, it's like you're bringing your chin right in towards your throat. In and out. Your turtleneck, right? Your turtle, you go out, come back in. One more time. All right, now let's finish with just straight up, open, come down. Be careful when you're opening up, you're bringing some compression back there in that neck. So being gentle with that. Rather than compressing the neck, think opening up through the throat. So I don't want to get too compressed in the back. I want to open up. And one more time. All right, take a moment. Let's bring those together with a few circles. If that feels okay. The neck feels ready for that. Big circles. If it doesn't feel good, just stay with left and rights and ups and downs. And let's circle the other way. And then let's come back to the middle. Take a moment there. Let's give the spine just a little bit of twisting, gentle twisting. So I've got my knees soft, so that way they give a little bit as I twist back and forth a bit. And when I'm doing that, I'm feeling the twist. I feel it coming right down into the ankles, comes right down to the legs a bit. So you can let your knees do a little bit of movement. Arms can just kind of hang flat back and forth. So just a gentle back twisting. All right, now let's come back to the center, kick it out a little bit. Let's stay with these legs. Let's come down. So I'm going to start with a little bit wider stance. Can we see me? Yeah, we can see that. And I've got a little bit of an open stance. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just shift the weight into one side and the other. And I'm going to extend, I'm extending my knee right out over my toes, right out past my toes if I can. And when I get down there, I work the knee a little bit side to side. And I'm doing that for the knee, but I'm working into that ankle down there too. So my foot gets a little more active. Bare feet really help here. And I'm really activating the feet, going back and forth. I'm activating the quad, squeezing a bit, and just bringing a little bit of pressure in the knee. Nice to warm to the knee now. Right, the first time we warmed to the knee, we weren't putting any pressure, any weight on it. Now we've got some weight, and we're going back and forth. And I'm feeling that down in my shin as well. Ooh, and you can hear that ankle of mine popping. All right, let's come back here. Now I'm going to bring the feet together, and I'm going to come into my first position from ballet. So I'm going to open the feet out, the heels are together. We're going to do a few of our raises, all right? That's going to feel that for the calves, for the ankles, and really tough for the balance too. So I'm going to find a spot I can look at. And in the beginning, I'm just going to keep my hands down. I'm just going to breathe in and raise up. And if you need something for balance, have your hand by the wall. Breathe in and I'm going to raise up, right up on my toes there. Breathe in, raise up. All right, take a moment. Now I want to get a little more intentional on the legs. So I'm going to squeeze my glutes and I'm going to kind of press the legs towards each other. I'm pulling them in towards each other. It's a very active legs. And now I'm going to breathe in, active legs. Maybe the arms reach up. And then as I exhale, I come down. I breathe in. And I exhale down. I breathe in. And I exhale down. And one more time, I breathe in. And as I exhale, I come down and I relax the legs. Now shake them, kick them out a little bit. So let's do a little more for the knees. Feet are together now, and I'm going to do a few knee circles. A little bit gentler now. And I'm keeping the feet planted down on the ground, and I can feel that coming right down into my ankles. And take your time on those rolls. And when the knees aren't as a little bit, if they're a little more stiff, then your circles aren't going to be so low, right? They're going to stay higher up. Let's go the other way. And now let's come back and kick those around a bit. Now a little bit with the balance, and we'll see how these ankles are. So to begin with the balance, just start with a little side to side, back and forth, and just lifting one leg up. So I'm starting to get used to balancing, being on one leg at a time. And if your balance is off, right, you're near a wall, just having a hand on a wall is going to help you. But I want to just get, and if this is no problem, add a little tap, a little cross tap. You can add that little diagonal movement going across the body. Nice for your nervous system. And I'm starting to lift my leg up a little bit higher, starting to come into the hip flexor a bit there. So you can see how high you want to go with that. And I'm just going to tap it out for 6 times. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, a little. Now with that balance, and let's come right to that glute and hip. I'm going to be on a wall or just stand free, and I'm going to lift that leg up a little to the side and come down. So I'm working nice right into that hip joint, and that outside the hip and the glute. Lift your leg, and coming back down. Lifting out to the side, coming back down. Lift it for 5. Doesn't have to go too high. For 4, mind focusing right on there. You can feel it. 3, you can feel those muscles of yours moving around. 2, and 1. All right, come back. Take a moment. We'll switch sides. Find a wall if you need something to hold on to. We're going to lift that leg up. Come back down. Lift it up. I want to really keep my mind focused on that right glute. So lift it for 5, for 4, for 3, 2, and 1. All right, nice. Take a moment there. Give those hips and glutes a moment. You can use your fingertips and work a little bit into them. Kick around the legs. And now let's finish with the legs with a little bit of quad activation. And we work these quads a little bit, wake them up. So I'm going to come out into a little bit of a wider stance again. We'll come into a few plies, all right? So I'm out, my feet are on about a 45-degree angle. And then as you drop down, you want your knees to track with your toes. So I don't want them to start to collapse in. If anything, I'm bringing a little bit of pressure. And I don't want to fall and lean forward. Keep the torso up, the heart open. And you don't have to go very low, right? I'm just going to go a little bit. You can go a little bit and start to warm up the quads just with a little isometric. So just bringing a little bit of contraction. I'm squeezing those quads in. I'm fighting the glutes up in the back. And then to help with that, I'm just going to imagine that I'm starting to try to drag the heels of my feet in towards each other. When you do that, you start to feel that they fire up a little bit more in your inner thighs there. And then breathing. Now maybe we lower a little bit. See how that feels. Breathing. And then let's see if we can bring all that together from that whole chain, from the ankles on up. So I'm going to breathe in, come up, maybe come up on your toes. And then as you exhale, you come down a bit. All right, let's try a few of those. We breathe in. And we breathe out. Squeeze the glutes, breathe in. Maybe coming right up on those toes, and as you breathe out, you come down. And you breathe in. And as you exhale, you come down. And one more time, we'll breathe in. And as you exhale, you come down. And if you want to, go a little bit lower here. And you can rest, and you can work a little bit now into those hips. So I'm doing a little pressing back and forth, working in those hips. And then I'm going to come up and take a moment to, can we just do a little bit in the hips as we get our breath back? Just do a little movement around to the hips. And go the other way with that. And kick it out a bit back and forth. How are the legs feeling? Quads, feeling pretty good. Knees, hopefully good. Ankles. Hamstrings, maybe a few stretches for the hamstrings. I'm gonna stay a little wide. So I'm just gonna come down part way, the right amount, and I'm gonna come back up. So once again, that flossing idea, come down a little bit, right? And come back up. Now, as I come up, I'm firing up my glutes and the hamstrings. So come down just a bit. You start to feel that coming there. Squeeze the glutes and the hams. Come back up. And now let's hang just for a few breaths. Some of you go a little lower, maybe, all right? And you can do a little back and forth. If you need, you could have your hand out here on a chair or something. Support you a little bit, but I'm just working it a little bit back and forth, working back in those hamstrings, a bit in those hips. And I'm trying to really grab, if you will, into the mat with the outside edges of my feet. So the feet are very grounded. And then I'm gonna come back up. I'm gonna bring these legs back together. And I'm just gonna take a moment or two and come into a mountain pose. To finish and just let that body wake up a little bit. All that movement and a little bit of strength work there. Hopefully the body's feeling good and feeling ready for the day. So just find a few breaths in your mountain pose. Closing your eyes if you can. Beautiful posture, not overdone, but just a nice bit of an open. Just opening up that chest area, that heart center, that thoracic area of your spine just helps you feel better, helps you feel more ready to tackle the day. And from here, yogis, we can bring our hands right to our heart center. And we can just take a moment or two and set an intention for your day. Let it be, whatever you do today, let it be a peaceful experience, a pleasant experience. And hopefully this little mobility, this little morning mobility was a pleasant experience for you. Namaste.